Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. Recently, I was going through my videos and I came upon the realization that I do not have like an updated base routine for you guys. Not much has changed. Like I don't really swap out a lot of products in my day-to-day base routine. If I know something works, I'm not gonna swap it out with something new just because I am a creature of habit. But I did realize that I don't have one for the more colder months of the year, a base routine. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because some of you might be in the same boat as me. I'm very oily, very textured, very large pores, all that fun stuff. So I want to share with you guys how I make my skin look the best that it can possibly look in these transitional, like colder months that are not too great for the skin. So if that is something you are interested in seeing, let's go ahead and get started. All right, hair is pinned back for the most part. A lot of the products that I'm going to be using today are not new. You will have seen them. I use them to death in a lot of my other videos, but I wanted to share them with you guys just so you get an understanding of what I trust and what I know to be really good and what I will use over and over again because it performs really well. This isn't the time to try out new products in a video like this. I'm going to show you my tried and true so that you can test them out, and if they work for you, you can put them in your day-to-day routine. We're not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just showing you guys how I get the best skin as someone who does not have the best skin. So I did do my skincare already. I used some hyaluronic acid, some toner, some essence, some moisturizer, some eye cream, some sunscreen, all that good stuff I put on already. So I'm just gonna hop into the makeup now that it's been sitting for a few minutes. In the summer and the more warmer months, I will use a pore filling or mattifying primer. For the winter months and colder months, I kind of stay away from mattifying just because I feel like I don't need it as much. I do produce a lot of oil, but my skin doesn't need to be as matte as it does in the summer. So the primer that I've been loving recently is the Hourglass Veil Primer. It is a bit pricey, but I find that this gives me like a nice filtered look. It helps with my redness, it helps with my texture, and it doesn't make me look one-dimensional. Like it doesn't mattify to the point where my skin doesn't look like skin anymore. This is just a trial size. Definitely pick this one up if you're thinking about it, but you're not sure if you want to commit and if you have the same problems as me, because I think this would be worth it for you. I'm gonna go in with this right now, and I always forget, but you're supposed to shake this. I forget every single time, and it does make a big difference if it's like shaken or not. It'll be like super runny if you don't shake it. And I'll use like that much and start from in here, like my T-zone, and work my way out. It leaves this cast, but it doesn't last. Like this sinks into the skin. So I'll let that sit for a few like minutes just so that my skin can really absorb it. But as you can see, a lot of my redness is already gone. I don't have a lot of redness, like I don't have rosacea, and I don't have a lot of hyperpigmentation like some other people do, but I do have a bit of redness that I like to keep under wrap and try to control, and this primer definitely helps with that. And you can see the white cast is pretty much gone now. It's like really sunk into the skin. The foundation that I'm going to be using for this tutorial is not new at all. You've probably seen me use it many other times. It is my all-time favorite foundation, the Dior Backstage Foundation. This one is in the shade 3N and this one's in the shade 0N. Because I self-tan, I like to have one for when I'm at my darkest and for when I'm at my palest. Because my self-tan fades, I just like to have these two so I can mix and kind of create the perfect shade for where I'm at with it. So I'm going to mix these on a palette today and go in with a brush. I find that that's the best way to go in with this foundation. I like to use this foundation any time of the year, but mostly like during this time of the year because it's so thin and it's not mattifying, but it's also not like luminous. It's a very skin finish. A true skin finish, and that's what I go for in the colder months. This time of year my skin it's not so much dry as it just feels like super dehydrated, so I don't like to use a super mattifying foundation, and this one has like the perfect finish and the perfect feel on the skin. What I also love about this foundation is that it's super buildable. No matter how many layers you put on, it leaves your skin looking like skin. Again, really just pressing in the foundation. I barely do any blending. Once I have a nice layer of that foundation on and everything looks pretty much covered, I'll go in with some more cream products. Cream products are very unique because they can look gorgeous in the summer and give you a very natural look, but they're also great for the winter and the colder months because they blend right into the skin and they won't make you look cakey. So if you have dry skin and you're using a lot of powder products and you're finding that your skin is looking very cakey and your makeup's not looking the way that you want it to, try out some cream products. They blend right into the foundation and look very skin-like. You'll still look like you have makeup on, so don't worry, like it's not gonna look super natural to the point where it doesn't look like you're wearing anything, but it's gonna look a lot more skin-like rather than a powder on top of a foundation that's gonna make you look a bit more cakey. I prefer going in with my cream contour and my cream blush before I do concealer because I find that if I go a bit overboard or if I add more than I was planning on adding, the concealer that I add will really help to tone it down a bit. So that's why I prefer doing my darker products like my contour and my blush before the concealer. So I'm gonna do cream contour first. In the summer, I definitely go for a more bronzed cream contour like the Huda Tantour or the e.l.f. Putty bronzer, I think is what it's called. In the winter months, I'll go for an actual like contour color, which is a bit more on the cooler side for me. This Fenty Matchsticks in the shade Amber is perfect. On me, it's not anywhere near a bronzing color. It's a true contour shade. So this is the one I'm going to use today. I like to put this on a brush and then go in with it on my face. I won't take the bullet and put it on. I'll put it on a brush first. My favorite one to use is this Luxie 512 small contouring brush, and I'll just pack it on. Once I have a good like layer on the brush, I'm going to pat. I'm not going to blend. I'm going to pat this cream contour into my face, and I'm going to see where the hollows of my cheek are. You see how you can really tell where it is, and I'm gonna go a little bit above that and press my brush into those hollows. And I'm using a very light hand when I do this, when I pat it in, and I'm doing very small like strokes blending upward just so that I have a lot of control over the product. I don't want it to go like too crazy. I want to keep it very concentrated so that it actually looks like a shadow. On my forehead, I'll go in with the bullet just because I have a bit more like freedom up here since it's like so big. So I'll just take the actual product and blend it out since I have this space. And if ever you feel like you brought it too far down, you can go in with your foundation brush that you used and just kind of go right underneath the edge and press in. And it kind of offers a bit of a cleanup so that you don't feel like your entire makeup is ruined. The cream blush that I'm going to be using is a new favorite that I have added to my collection. This is the One Size Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio in the shade Fat Ass. And I'm going to take the cream that's in the palette. In the summer, I will use more poppy pink and brighter shades like orange blushes and things of that sort just to give myself a natural healthy flush. In the winter and cooler months, these are the blushes that I will go for. I mean, you can use whatever blush shade you want, whatever time of the year, but for me, this is when I like to utilize these kinds of blushes, the more deeper tones, because I feel like it's very complementary to the weather. A more muted nude shade, like wine shade. For this cream blush, I'm actually just going to use my fingers because I find that that's the best way to apply it. And go way back here and kind of mesh it into the cream contour. See how it just adds a very nice flush to the face? And using my finger, I feel like gives me the best finish. It really helps to mesh the product into the skin rather than just like stamping it in with a brush. And it's free, your fingers are free. The formula of this cream blush is so good. I find that it'll look good anywhere on my face. It doesn't accentuate any texture, doesn't accentuate any dryness. It's a really, really fantastic cream blush, and you have like 3 options in here. You know, you have the cream, the powder, and the like hyper sheen is what it's called. See, it just makes me look alive. It's so good, the cream blush. I definitely need to get that blush trio in more colors because it leaves the skin looking so stunning. Now that all of my other cream products are down, this is the time that I'll go in with my concealer. My favorite concealer that you will know what it is if you've seen any of my other videos, if you've been here for a while, it is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. I love this stuff. I will never stop using this. It is a fantastic concealer that no one has topped yet. If you want a more affordable option, the NYX Bare With Me concealer is a fantastic dupe for that Lancome concealer, and it's a fraction of the price. Both of these are very thin, which is important to me in the winter months and the summer months. The difference is in the winter, I get very dry underneath my eyes, especially out here. So I look for a concealer that's not going to feel like it's weighing me down and that doesn't really suck the moisture out from underneath my eyes right here, because I do have a few concealers that feel like that. These two leave the skin under here feeling like nourished and very hydrated. So that is why I always go for them during these winter months. They're very, very forgiving on the skin underneath my eyes. I'm going to go in with the Lancome Teint Idole today. I have this in the shade 215. I like to take my my finger and blend this out. I find that to be the best finish. And you don't need a lot, but I do like to use a lot. I will go in and kind of bring it down a little bit over that cream blush. But the good part is if you feel like you went too far over it, you can just add more. No one's gonna tell you that you can't add more. But I just find that it gives a very natural look when I do it in these steps from like contour up to concealer. It's just what I prefer. You can do it the opposite way if that's what you like. This is just what I prefer. I'll even bring it up onto the eyelids so that everything is the same texture and color. I will also take this down the center of my face just to add a bit more balance into the face. I find that when I don't do this, my face looks imbalanced. It looks too light underneath my eyes. The thing with this concealer is that you only need a little bit. A little bit goes a very long way, which is another reason why I love it so much, is because you don't need a lot. So this tube will last you forever. Definitely worth the money that you spend if you do decide to pick up that concealer. I cannot say enough good things about it. Once the creams are on to your satisfaction, we're gonna go in and set everything. Surprise! I'm gonna use my One Size setting powder like I always do. This is so good. I can't get away from this. I don't think that there is another powder that's gonna give me what I'm looking for like this one does. It makes me look like I have the skin of a baby, and even though it is the winter months, I do find that I need to set everything just because my skin's always gonna be oily. It's just who I am, and it's just the skin that I have. This powder, no matter what time of year it is, it's gonna make you look good, and you're not gonna look cakey at all. You're gonna look poreless, you're gonna look smooth, you're gonna look blurred, you're gonna look amazing. I will say if you have dry skin, you might not want to set. Since I have oily skin, I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. And I'll just use a powder puff with this, and I'll put this everywhere that I put the concealer. I find that this is the best way to apply it. It really just melts right into the skin, and it leaves you looking airbrushed. It's so good. And I don't look cakey, I don't feel cakey, I don't feel like there's a lot of product on my face. It's very lightweight and it's very blurring. It's so good no matter what time of year it is. This is the best powder that you're gonna find. We are ready for the final steps, which is going to be powders. Bronzer is gonna be Hoola Benefit Bronzer. I like using this no matter what time of year, but especially in the cooler months because it gives me a nice cool bronze. So it's not gonna look like a terracotta red bronze that's gonna look very like I was sitting in the sun. This one's just gonna give more dimension to my face, and it's gonna make me look a lot more balanced. I'll take that on my Morphe M503 brush, and what I'll do is I'll just hit the contours of my face. Since this is such a neutral tone, I'm able to almost get away with like contouring with this. Final step is going to be blush. I'm going to take that One Size palette again and just go in with the powder right here. This is very pigmented, so I'm going to go in with a very light hand. I'll take a nice angled fluffy brush. I find that these are the best to apply blush just because it's like the perfect size and the perfect angle. And I'm starting back here and then working my way to the cheek, and I'm being so light-handed because this can go overboard really quick. You can always add more blush, but you can't take blush away. I'm using like the patting technique again just because I want to keep the pigment. I don't want to like swipe it away. Then I'll take a duo fiber just so that everything looks kind of cohesive and blend everything out. So I'm gonna go add some eyeshadow and some lipstick to my face just to kind of finish off this makeup look. Once that is done, I will come back here and we can wrap up this tutorial together. So I will see you in just a second. Okay, so I went ahead and I added some mascara and some lipstick. The lip that I'm wearing is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in the shade 118. I have spoken about this lip color before. I love it so much. It's like a very unique shade that I've never seen anywhere else. So I am gonna go ahead and do my final step, which is just to bring back my little birthmark right here using the One Size gel liner pencil in the shade Point Made. So this is the final look, you guys. I love the way it came out. I love the way my skin looks. It feels so comfortable. It feels like I have nothing on. All of the products that I mentioned are some of my favorites to use during these colder months. I feel like they work really well with my skin, my oily textured skin, and they really just help to make my skin look the best that it possibly can look. You guys can swap out whatever products work for you. These are just the products that work for my skin during these colder months. So if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure if you have not already that you are subscribed to my channel and that you hit the little bell so you are always notified when I upload a new video. Let me know if you have tried out any of the products I mentioned in this video. I would love to know what your favorites are. If you have drugstore alternatives, I'd love to try them out. And I think that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope that you all enjoyed. I know that I did, and I will see you all in my next one.